Hey there, this is Real Talk Baseball. I'm Carlos Baseball. With me as always is Ernie Orange, and we have a great show for you guys today. If you guys didn't see baseball this weekend, we got you all covered right here. But before we get started and go through our agenda, how's it going over there, Ernie?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. We're enjoying this weekend of baseball. It was a great one out here in the West Coast. We have a lot of great news to talk to you guys today. I hope so you guys stay tuned.
Yes. So we got the Braves. There's an injury report on that one. Where we'll have to talk about and see if they have a potential to make the playoffs or. That's the question, right? And then the Mariners, dude, what the hell's going on with them? They're last in batting average. Can you believe that? And the White Sox are above them. So we'll talk about them a little bit. Their playoff hopes is kind of, I don't know, right? Then we got a topic with Rob Manfred that he's trying to change something, and we'll talk about that as well. A lot of baseball fans have their 2 cents, and we have our 2 cents as well. And then we have the power rankings, and of course, we have trivia, or we'll talk about Tatis, or we'll talk about some players that we've been looking at. So, all here on Real Talk Baseball. And if you haven't done so, go ahead to hit that subscribe button and that like button. And if you haven't, commented on any of our videos, I will appreciate it if you guys do so right now, because we are live. We are always live. I don't think we've ever gone in recording. I don't think we've done a recording since you joined, right, Ernie?
Not at all. It's always live, and it's always fun to interact with the listeners here and get to hear their takes as well. It's a lot of different perspectives in the game of baseball, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, that's true, man. Well, let's get into it, dude. There's a big injury that happened with the Braves, and it's not Ronald Acuna. There's someone else that got injured. It seems like he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. And tell us, Ernie, who is this man?
Oh man, it's not only but their best third baseman they have in their lineup, Austin Riley, which will be out for 6 to 8 weeks with a right hand fracture. Last night's game, he got hit with a pitch and it fractured his hand. Unfortunately, the MRI, it did not look good. He left the game. This is not looking good for the injury-riddled Braves, man. They lost Spencer Strider early in the season. You lost Acuna to the season as well. You have Michael Harris and Sean Murphy that's missed a couple months, and now you add your third baseman out for a month or two. It's not looking good for these Braves team. Now the question is, will they be making the playoffs come October? Austin Riley wasn't performing his best this season. He did have an oblique injury early in the year, but now the question mark is there. Like, will they get that final wild card spot? What do you think? Are they going to still make it?
Dude, so this is the thing with Austin Riley. A lot of people have been talking about him and saying that he hasn't been performing up to his, normal self. He's hit 19 home runs so far. He's batting 256. He has 56 RBI. Someone needs to step up, like a Matt Olson. I know Marcell Ozuna is playing really good baseball. He's probably even, competing for the MVP with Ohtani. They're both DHs. Remember that. So someone else other than those two guys. I mean, did I say Matt Olson? Matt Olson also has 21 home runs, 63 RBIs. He's not hitting up to par to what they're expecting him, so he needs to start stepping up. Sean Murphy has been really disappointing, dude, for the Braves. So that's a thing with the that's happening with the Braves. I feel like if they're gonna make a run or they're gonna make that push for the playoffs, they need someone else to step up. And I don't know who else can step up, dude, because to be honest, if we already talking about Matt Olson and we're talking about Murphy and we're talking about there's another catcher that I can't really think of his name right now. Why am I blanking? I guess because we're live. That's what it is.
Right.
Yeah. But Darno. So he's been
Travis
playing
Darno.
okay, and he's been taking most of the catching duties for the Braves. So I don't know, dude. Do I feel like they're gonna make the playoffs? They're gonna make a run for it. They've always done it. Remember, they won the World Series without Acuna. So maybe these little trades and the pickups they did in the offseason, maybe it's gonna help them, but they need it soon, dude. They need to do it now. So what do you think? Do you think they're gonna make the playoffs?
Now, first and foremost, I want to say hi to everybody here in the chat. Hey, Genesis, good to see you guys. Y'all are missing the Dodger game. Yes, we are. Keep us updated. We do have a live show right now. Let us know what's going on in the Dodger Stadium. I saw Justin Turner return to Dodger Stadium today. It was nice to see him
Yes,
say
yes, it
hi
was.
to his old teammates. And then we have Netos here saying, just got here, what I miss. Well, you missed just the beginning of it. Austin Riley is out for 6 to 8 weeks with a right hand fracture. And I do think the Braves do need him big time, man. But I think the Braves need to depend on the pitching. That's where they've been really good at all season. You do have Reynaldo Lopez that's performed really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Charlie Morton and Chris Sale that's been on another level as well this season. They're much more experienced pitchers that have
Yeah,
performing at another level. So I think the pitching is what's the most important for this Braves team going to the final stretch into the season. I think the offense will come around here and there. Michael Harris has made a return, but it's looking close. This New York Mets team is starting to believe. And just right now, you hit a walk-off home run with Francisco Alvarez, getting Shea Stadium or Citi Field pumped. And everybody's excited, man. And I don't know what to tell you. Who's going to take that final spot? I still believe the Braves will. I think the experience will take them there. The manager, Snicker, knows what he's doing. And Raiso Iglesias closed out the game really well. But man, it's gonna be a close one, and I'm excited for it. That's the beauty of baseball because those final couple weeks is what makes those wild card races entertaining.
definitely. So you're saying they are going to make it? They're going to be the last spot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, it's gonna, or unless the Mets come. What do you think? You think the Mets are gonna get the last spot?
I don't feel confident with the Mets. You know why? Because they're kind of what we were talking about how the Padres were playing. They're like they get hot, they get cold, they get hot, they get cold, but they haven't hit that winning streak like the Padres have. So I just feel like the Mets, if they do, they're gonna surprise me because I just feel like they don't have enough. And with them not having enough, I think the Braves are gonna sneak in there. I don't know if there's other teams that can compete. I mean, the Cubs are not playing all that well either. The Cardinals, like who
Yeah,
else is there? Like the two teams that were behind the Braves, now they're ahead, which are the Padres and the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they're playing exceptional baseball right now. So I know the D-backs got swept this weekend, and the Padres lost in Colorado. But remember, when a team is hitting, that hitting streak of winning, and they're super hot and playing good baseball, I just feel like sometimes other teams try to compete against them and try to beat them even more. So I mean, we see it with the Dodgers. All the teams want to play that team hard. You see with the Yankees, although everybody wants to play them hard. You see with the Orioles, everybody wants to play them hard. So they're getting that playoff experience right now. So I am calling the Braves the third spot in the wild card. I think they are going to win it. I know it's a big hit that they're taking, but I mean that's what it is, right? But let's move on, man. Let's go talk about the Mariners, dude. And it
oh,
seems to me right now the way the other divisions are playing, they're battling it out. They're playing really good baseball, and this is the division that looks the weakest to me right now. And it's kind of hard
definitely.
to say because we usually say the Central is, and it's usually not like that, dude. So right now, like with the Mariners not playing good baseball, and I said at the beginning of the show, they're the worst batting average in baseball right now, dude. We're even worse than the White Sox. Can you believe that? That sucks, right?
Yeah, it's just not working out for them offensively. It feels like they can't put the bat to the ball. They strike out a lot. They lead the league by strikeouts significantly more than any other team. They continue to struggle, and I'm not sure what to tell you with this Mariners team. It's a team that continues to perform really well during the season, and they just always choke towards the end. It's been happening for over 23 years. This poor franchise just continues to not make the playoffs, guys. Remember, they have not been to the won a division since 2001, guys. Since their last 116 game win season with Ichiro, it just seems like this Mariner team could never find a way to get in by winning the division. It's just one of those. The AOS, it's not a an easy division this year. It was meant for them with the starting rotation they have there, guys. It's like one of the top 5 rotations in baseball. It's
Mm-hmm.
built to win, but now you need to get run support, and that's something we're not seeing with this Mariner team. You have Julio Rodriguez that's been dealing with injuries, an ankle injury. They recently acquired Randy Rosarena, which has been having an off year, batting 216. And then you bring Justin Turner, a veteran bats in the middle of the lineup, but he's also in the decline of his career. I just don't find the reason why the Mariners will win this time around. I just feel like these poor pitchers are just throwing gas, and not really, getting the run support they need, right? And it's
I
kind of
agree.
tough.
I agree. You know what? I did say that they were last in season. I mean, batting average. They're in season. They're the last ones. But second half, they're doing a little bit better. They're the 25th team. So we'll leave it right there. So if you're a Mariners fan, you have something to look up to. At least you're the 25th. You're not in last place. But that's only the second half. If you use the whole season,
Oh
they're the
man,
worst bat. They have the worst batting average in baseball. And
that's not looking good.
it's not. So I just wanted to bring this up because a lot of people say, "Oh, batting average doesn't count." That's it's on base that matters. Well, if you have a man on second, how are you going to get him home? You need to get a base hit so he can score.
Right,
If you're a new head and you think that batting average doesn't count, we have a debate here because I feel like you need to have those hitters hitting that spot to get those runners in from second base. And I mean, the Mariners do have a good on base percentage. They just need that one hitter or two hitters that gets those little hits, little bloop singles to score those runs, and it's not happening for them. It kind of sucks because you just mentioned Rosarena's there. JT, yeah, he's in the decline. I know I said it last week. Maybe the Orioles could have used them, but I got a little bit of crap for it because I put Justin Turner in that. I was just saying that maybe his veteran presence will help there. I thought he was going to bring that with the Mariners. He has the World Series experience. He has that experience with other teams, but also, I feel like maybe they need another player that sparks it up like a rookie. We had some rookies this week that had triples, dude. I mean, I'll go ahead and show the video and we can talk about it. But the three Jacksons, man, and this is crazy, dude. Like when I saw it, I was like, I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, all three Jacksons got a triple. And the first one we're seeing here is Shirio. Did I say it right? Shirio, Jackson Shirio,
Yep,
right?
that's correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
man,
So
it's amazing to see these three Jackson kids, all rookies, getting a
yeah,
triple on the same night. Something that's never been heard of. We in baseball we enjoy stats, but this is a stat that we probably will never see again. Three
yeah.
guys named with the same first name, Jackson. What are the chances of that, right? And then they hit a triple on the same night. It's incredible, man. I don't know which one's going to be the best one. That's the same topic day in and day out. Which Jackson's going to be the best one to start your franchise, man? You know what? I'll take all three. It doesn't matter who you start your franchise. Each one of them is going to be an all-star and a future Hall of Famer. If you ask me, the way they are performing, I'll take either or. What about you? Which Jackson will you choose?
Oh man, you put me on the spot on that one. You know what?
We have to. We have to.
We have to, and yeah, that's a good question because when you start seeing these kids, and that's why I was kind of talking about how you have the veteran presence, and you always hear me say veteran presence, but you also need that rookie hothead. And I'm not saying these Jackson kids are all hotheads. They're not. They're playing baseball. They're doing what they need to do. They're all 20 years old. Can you believe that? One of the guys in the comments said, like, I thought that was his little league when they saw Jackson Holiday bat. They said that, oh, is that his little league at bat? And then they saw him in the big stadium. I'm like, oh no, that's with the Orioles. Like, what the hell? And when I saw the video as well, like I thought it was the little league. So I'm like, damn, what the hell? So I I would like to pick, I have to go with the shortstop. He's playing center field, Jackson Merrill, and because he's a shortstop, I'm going that way. I know, Jackson Holiday's a shortstop as well, but I think I'm just gonna go with the West Coast on this one. Hate me if you want.
We have Neto here saying Jackson is an incredible. Hey man, that's a good future name if you want to name your kid out there, Jackson. Or Jackson, give him that Latino Jackson feel to his name. But talking about the Jacksons, if you have to choose one, yes, Jackson Murrow is definitely a great choice for you guys. Jackson Murrow has been performing at a level I've never seen a rookie play, man. In the most clutch moments, he's performed at another level. He's making game-tying home runs, game-diving catches, you name it, he's there. Jackson sure had a slow start to the first half of the season, but now he's picked it up at another level after Jelich injury. And now you got Jackson Holiday, who did start his career off with a bad start, but after his second stint in the MLB, now he's performing like a future all-star, right? And just like
Yeah.
his dad, he could perform really well. You can't go wrong with either Jackson. It's a great way to start your franchise if you have to choose one of them. And they have the future's bright with these guys, man. Now, hopefully they can stay injury-free and we can see the beautiful talent they have in this game of baseball.
You know what? And another thing they have in common is all their teams are in first place or in the playoff run.
Oh,
So that's another thing they got going for them. Remember, they have that rookie playing good baseball and you have your veterans, and mix. It creates a good mixture of players. It creates a good environment. Because when you see a young guy playing baseball, you're like, oh, okay. And you're older, you kind of want to mesh with them. You kind of want to, all right, I can play with you, but I need you to understand where I'm coming from with the old school too. So I think it's working out for the Padres, it's working out for the Brewers, and the Brewers are playing a lot better baseball. You just said Yelich is going to be out for the season. Maybe this is a time that Chiro is going to play a lot better baseball, and I think he is because he's been playing better baseball. And then you have Jackson Holiday over there with the Orioles, where you have a bunch of rookies out there and a bunch of second, third year guys that are playing great baseball. So that's why
A
I'm
lot
wearing
of
the hat. So
a
you
lot of
didn't.
depth. There's a lot of depth in that Orioles lineup, and I know he's playing hard because he wants to make it to that playoff roster. He wants to make
Exactly.
an impact in that team. You don't want to be
Exactly.
that guy that I was that rookie in AAA, didn't get a chance to play, and then I had to come next year after we're World Series champions. You know what I
And you don't
mean?
want to be that guy. You don't want to be that guy, of course. But you didn't tell us who was your Jackson.
Well, no, man, I don't know. You
And
know
you
what?
put me on the
Give
spot. You got
me
to do it.
Hey, the way I've seen Jackson Churro play lately, I would go with him. I just like his game. I love how he plays the infield,
Exactly.
and I love how he plays his approach to the bat. And I think
Yeah.
that's what I like about it.
And he doesn't take any base for granted. If you notice that when he takes because he could have stayed at second in that triple, but he was like, nope, he messed up. I'm going to take advantage of it and I'm going to make it to third. And he's fast too. So you can't go wrong there, of course. So the playoff run, I mean, we already started talking about it. So why not just talk a little bit more of the playoff run? We already said the Braves are
Sure.
going to probably make it into that third spot. I know they have the big injuries happening there, but sometimes some other players are going to need to step up. So do you feel like I think you kind of already answered that because we talked about the Mets, but is there any other team in the National League that you feel that can beat that third spot or make it to that third spot
Yeah,
in the
man.
National League, of course?
I
Yeah,
don't
my
see the
bad.
Cubs. I don't see the Cubs or Cardinals making any type of noise, man. They've had their chances. They went through streaks where they play really well baseball, but right now, I don't see a team that could potentially win the wild card spot whatsoever.
Definitely.
You have the Giants who's playing 500 ball. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. They did trade some pieces away in the trade deadline, which gave me the impression there were sellers.
Yeah,
Uh, there are 4 games back, right? And you still could make it. You've seen these steep runs in September, and teams
definitely.
get hot, just like the D-backs and Padres are right now. But
Yeah.
it's one of those where I don't see none of those teams even competing with the Padres or Diamondbacks or the Braves,
Hmm.
talent-wise. You
Talent
know,
wise.
this Brave team does have a deep rotation, given that they lost Strider, but they're definitely hurting in offense, and won't be the only team hurting in offense. I feel like a lot of teams are struggling this season. It's been an off year. There's over 20 guys batting under 200 right now under the Mendoza line. It's not looking good for the game of baseball, and that's why there's some changes coming up. But we'll keep that in the future topic coming up right now. But yes, I think it's between the Braves or Mets for that final spot. Now,
Definitely.
the Mets, if they continue to play the way they are, they have a chance of making a run. And it's one of those streaky teams that we're not supposed to be here right now. But you have young stars like Mark Vientos playing at a huge level and like performing like something I've never seen before. You got Pete Alonso, which is a contract year, trying to demonstrate why he should get paid. And then you have Francisco Lindor, which had a terrible first month in baseball, but it has turned it around. He's hitting some bombs out there and is playing at a high elite level. So if you have to ask me right now, going Braves just based on the experience, but don't be shocked if this Met team makes a deep run come September.
Yeah. Well, let me give you the top 10 teams in the second half, and this is going to be in order. So the first team, 21-7, is the Padres. The 20-8 Diamondbacks, they just got swept, so that's why they have one more loss than the Padres. And then you have the Brewers. You just mentioned Cheerio has been turning it on. Maybe that's why they're 18-10. That's why they're playing good baseball. I know Yelich is out for the season, but they're doing good, dude. Then you have the Dodgers, 17-11. A lot of people are writing the Dodgers off that they're not having a good season. Remember, they have a lot of injuries. They're just getting them back, and they're playing good. They're the fourth best team in the second half. 17-11 is not that bad. You're looking at Astros, the same thing, 17-11. You're looking at the Royals. Royals are a team that we felt like 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, we were like, I don't know, are they for real?
That's
It's
fine.
looking like they are, right? So they're 17-11 as well. Another team that's 17-11 is Athletics. I know they're not going to do anything, but they're playing spoiler right now, and that's what it's looking like. I know what was it, the Bay Area series was this last week. It's the last one of its
Yeah,
kind. No more. It's like, and it's kind of sad. I'm not a Giants fan. I hate the Giants with a passion. That's just because I'm a Dodger fan. And then you're looking at the Ace, and you're never gonna have that base series. So I got to see it, dude. I got to see the last game. Snell was pitching. He's on it right now. If the people whoever didn't trade for him this offseason, I think they're not ever gonna get him. I think the Giants got a good gem there, and they're gonna sign him and extend him because he's pitching lights out right now, dude. So yeah,
incredible.
yeah, definitely. So let me continue. That was number 8. The Giants were at 16-12. The Twins are playing another team that's playing really good, 16-12, and then you have the Mets that you just said, 15-12. And I mean, no, 15-13. Sorry. So they're playing okay. They just need to step up that winning mark a little bit more. But yeah, dude, I think the A's are gonna play spoiler from now on, and I think they can
Definitely.
do it. They can do it. Definitely can do it. They've always been one of those teams where they don't have a lot of stars, but you have hungry hitters, you have hungry players on there. Yeah, Brent Worker, that's all they're hitting bombs all the time. So like if you're the A's, if you don't know the A's, you'll know them if they beat you, especially like teams like they're trying to make the playoffs. This team is going to be horrible to face, and that's what
Yeah,
happens usually, right?
definitely. They have the young pitching prospects that continue to pitch pretty well for them. They got Lawrence Butler leading off for them, who always tends to get on base and steals bases and puts pressure on the pitchers. They continue to play gritty, and they get some pretty big wins lately. So it's good for the Ace team. It seems like they have a great future for them. We have Neto saying here, Tyler Glasnow hitting the injury list with elbow tendonitis. Is another pitcher that goes down for the Dodgers. We don't know how severe this injury may be, but it's definitely a concern for the Dodgers, and it's not looking good, man. I know. Are you concerned knowing that Glasnow, their best pitcher of this season, is currently out?
I'm not. I'm not. Look, okay. So I'm not that surprised that he's out because you saw it with the race. He was
Yeah,
out every month. It looked like he was hitting the IL. He was taking rest, and he was getting tendonitis. So, it took him this long to get it, which is kind of weird. Okay, like I think the Dodgers are taking precaution only because they don't want it to get even worse. He said he
okay,
was fine and ready to go pitch. He was good to go, but I think the Dodgers decided to put him on the IL. So it doesn't turn into something where we're gonna miss him for a year or two, and we don't want
right.
that.
And we
So
see the Dodgers do this time and time out. Dave
yeah,
Roberts is really good at doing this. You see Clayton Kershaw tends to always get his break around August and September, and get the arm ready for October. That's when it really matters. And I think this
yeah,
is another case of that. Talking about another player that is out actually in the injury list is Ketel Marte, who got stepped on last week at second base by
second base.
the Phillies catcher. He continued to play. I was like, this did not look good. And just yesterday, he had to come off the game. Could really walk out the
Really,
state. Yeah, so it did not look good. It's a left ankle sprain. We don't know how long he's going to be out for. And he was contending with Shohei Ohtani for the MVP season. It's not looking good for this D-back team who just got swept over the weekend. And, you have Ketel Marte out, Christian Walker, and Gabriel Moreno out right now. And it's like, okay, yes, you have the pitching, but now where's the offense? Are you going to be the Mariners team now? We can't produce runs. So we have a lot of question marks there. But going back with the Dodgers, now that Tyler Glasnow's out, that's where you got to depend on these young gun pitchers. I think Neto's saying Gavin Stone is cooking right now, and it's really good for the Dodgers because he's had a rough bump last month. You got Bobby Miller who needs to pick it up, man, and hoping Walker Buehler could get it back together, man, because he is was an ace who has now gone to being that injury, man, that Tommy John the second time around. We've talked it time and time around that it's not good for the game of baseball, and it's not good for these pitchers.
definitely. So you did reach Kershaw, and I wanted to ask you something about Kershaw. I know he's just coming back from shoulder surgery, and he's pitched really well this last Sunday against the Cardinals. He did not allow any runs, and this is one of the things where if you're a Dodger fan, you feel like, okay, that's Kershaw. We know Kershaw does that, but if you're a fan that's not a Dodger fan, are you looking at this like, it doesn't matter? Or you're looking at it like, man, this guy's a legend. We should pay attention. This might be his last season. Even if you're a
Right,
Dodger fan, you should be thinking that way, right? But
right.
let me ask you, do you feel like, are we overlooking Clayton Kershaw because his first starts were kind of his rehab, his kind of his spring training? This might be something where he starts gaining up. His velocity on Sunday was 92 miles per hour when it was 89, 90, 89, right? So is he cooking now? Is he starting to get ready for playoffs? And are we taking it for granted? So I'm asking you, are
Oh
we
man,
taking it for granted?
definitely. Dodger fans, you guys got to recognize that Kershaw has been the ace for your team for over a decade. The guy continues to perform at a high elite level. His will go down as probably one of the greatest Dodger pitchers ever. Yes, he's choked in October a couple times, but Kershaw's also been known to be a pitcher that never got run support every time he went up to the mound. And I'm not sure how this October is going to look, but it looks like he may have to pitch.
Yeah.
The way the arms are going out for the Dodgers, he has to be one of your starters going into the postseason. Now, will he be able to perform at an elite level? And that's the question we all want to know, right? But if he continues to perform the way he was this Sunday, then this is good for Kershaw. You know, it's just when he gets to face those streaky teams, that's when he goes bad. And you're just hoping you face a team that is currently playing okay ball, then you're not facing a team like the D-backs did last year, which took advantage of the situation and took advantage of that 90-mile fastball.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll ask you one more thing about him. Do you feel that it's more negative towards Kershaw or more positive towards Kershaw for
Um,
fans out there?
there's more negativity of Dodger fans, on Kershaw.
Not just Dodger fans, not just Dodger fans.
MLB
Rephrase
fans.
it. Rephrase. There you go. Yes,
Yeah, man. We got
everybody.
92 is crazy for pitching speed or LA weather. Yes, this weather was over 92 degrees here in LA today. Wasn't great for us here. And, that's another factor we got to look into the weather, right? What weather we're going to get in October.
Mm-hmm.
In LA, it tends to be warm, but if he does have to play in the road, it's some cold games out there in the East Coast.
Definitely.
You
Definitely.
see the teams like with 3 jackets on, they're freezing, and they take advantage of the Dodgers, man, during the postseason.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. And when they come here to LA, we hit the 102 degrees, 105. I believe in 2017, the hottest game ever played in the World Series was 107 degrees, and it was against the Astros. So it was the Dodgers Astros. They hold that record. So yeah, man. I just want to stay positive with Kershaw. I don't want to throw any bad juju. I experienced all those playoffs. I experienced him pitching, not doing so well, and it sucks because how good he pitches in the season doesn't relate into or transfer into playoffs, and that's the bad part. Like you want him to succeed. You want all these great players to succeed. If you're a hater, you're gonna hate on him no matter what. You're gonna be like, oh, whatever, it's Kershaw, but don't forget, we're not going to get these type of players every year. We're not going to get these type of players every 10 years. Look at Barry Bonds. We took it for granted. We were saying he was on steroids. We were held bound on that, and we really missed the legend playing baseball. Look at Ohtani right now, what he's doing. He's not pitching. He's hitting home runs and all this stuff, but are we taking stuff for granted? So I think we should really capture the moment and embrace it and, share it with people. And even if it's not your team, you have to give credit where credit's due. So I just feel that
Yeah,
way
man.
about Kershaw, right?
I think we'll all say here that we wishing the best October for Kershaw this season.
Hopefully. Well,
Yeah,
another
man.
one I wanted to talk about is a player that we kind of been talking about, and I asked Padre about on his live, and I think you know what I'm going to with the Padres. Tatis Jr. Do you feel that they need to trade this guy? Do you feel like right now the how can I say it? The team is okay without him. They're playing good baseball. They can even take first place in the West because that's how good they're doing. Do you feel like the Padres should trade Tatis right now and get what is worth for him? Because if he gets older and let's say he gets to a point where he's not producing or the Padres are not doing as well with Tatis, maybe they can't get nothing for him anymore. So do you feel that's the case right here
Oh,
with the
man.
Padres?
This is a tough one right here, guys. Definitely the Padres are playing much better baseball without Tatis, but it's not because Tatis is not in the lineup. Let's look back. It's actually the pitching is the main reason why the Padres have been performing much better this season. The pitching has been in another level that we didn't see last season. You have Dylan Cease, a young Michael King, Matt Walker throwing the knuckleball. I don't know, man, Carlos. I wouldn't trade Tatis yet. He's only 25 years old, guys. Slow your horses. He is a young talent. You've seen it time and time again. 2022 season or 21, where he hit the 42 home runs. Not only that, last year he hit over 27. The guy has some pop in him. He's a superstar in the game. Yes, he got caught with PEDs, and it tarnished his name a lot. But it's a kid that wants to bounce back and forget about that, and change the page, turn the page, and focus on his new chapter in his career. But it's too soon, Carlos. I don't think
Yeah,
if you're a GM, will you take that $340 million contract out of the Padres?
I would, because you have Dylan Cease there. You have Jackson Merrill that's going to need a contract. And you have all these studs coming from the minor leagues. So right now you're doing so well. And I put the stat up here that
Yeah,
with Tatis, 492 games, right? 248 wins versus 246 losses. You're only 2 games above 500 with Tatis. Now, you look at the record without him, 339 games. That's more than half of the, I mean, what is it? 2 seasons right there that he hasn't played with the Padres. Look at the win differential as 179 to 160. So I just feel like maybe they're not meshing well with Machado. With Soto last year, you saw it. They didn't make the playoffs. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to hate on the Tatis. It's just he's a great player and everything. Maybe it's not a fit for him in the Padres. And if you're a Padres fan and you disagreed, I agree with you that you won't agree with me, of course. But if you trade him, you get rid of the contract, and you have your team right now that's playing really good baseball. You got Dylan Cease, which is a good pitcher, which pitching is going to be one of those things that's going to be hard to do because we'll get into the topic right now, but what Rob Manfred wants to change. But that's one of the things that they got to look at in the future, which is pitching is going to be kind of hard to get. So um, I would trade him. I would trade him.
man, I don't know. He's only 25, Carlos. You got to be patient with these stars.
Yeah,
Now, if you put him up with Jackson Merrill and Tatis together, you're gonna have a crazy duel there of superstars that could potentially win you World Series. You
yeah,
got those statistics you showed right there. Yeah, they're good, right? But I don't know, man. You got to look at the bigger picture and realize that Tatis wasn't with a better team back in the days, back in the
no,
previous seasons. Not only this year was finally the time where they finally invested in pitching. AJ Preller went out of his way, traded Juan Soto, and invested in pitching, and that's been the difference maker for this Padres team. So I don't know, man. I would keep Tatis, and I think if you ask Padre Bod, one of the biggest Padre fan bases out there on YouTube, he would tell you the same thing. I think he would say keep Tatis.
he would.
Uh,
He would. And that's the thing. I kind of want to have him on here so we can get that debate going. And now it's not a bad debate, of course. I'm just gonna put my 2 cents so he can change my mind, or I could probably change his. But that's the thing. Like I feel like, hey, what's up, Felix? How's it going, man? It just feels like maybe the Padres had a good team all the time, though. That's the thing. A lot of people say, oh no, the Padres they always sucked. Like no, they didn't. They had a good start. They had Machado, which is on the team for a while now. They have Tatis on that team. You had Hosmer that had that experience going to the World Series. You had dude. There's a ton of talent in that team, and we're treating it like they're not talented. They are. This year is different. Yeah, there's different pitchers out there. You don't have Drew Darvish on the rotation right now because he's out, and then Musgrove just came back, and look at how he's pitching. He's pitching good. So
right.
Musgrove has been there for 3-4 years already. So how can you say that they haven't been that good? They have. They have. It's just we need to stop saying that they're not a good team. They are. They've always been, and now they're showing it. And without Tatis, that's what I'm trying to say. So if they do win the division without Tatis, damn, that's going to be a crazy thing to see in the offseason. And I honestly feel like if I was their GM, I would do it. I would definitely
Look,
do it.
if I was AJ Preller right now, I would trade other pieces over Fernando Tatis. I would trade a Hassan Kim or a Sander Bogarts. I would
Yeah,
rather
Bogart.
get rid of that. Yep.
Would they take Bogarts though?
I don't know who a team would, but I would rather get away from that contracts and stick with Tatis if I was me.
Definitely, definitely. All right, let's talk about what's his name, Rob Manfred, dude. He's trying to change some rules out here, and you heard me say it. Dylan Cease is one of the pitchers out there, and if he becomes a free agent, will he be able to get over that 6 inning mark, which they're trying to impose or trying to put into the league next year, right?
Either next year or in a couple seasons. I think they want to try it out first, probably in the minor leagues before they announce that. But basically, Rob Manfred announced a 6 inning game rule for starting pitchers. Yes, bring it back. I already told you what I want. Basically, a starting pitcher has to pitch a minimum of 6 innings unless there is some couple things what you could either you pitched 100 pitches, you got hurt, or you gave up 4 or more runs. So yes, I think the MLB wants to grow the game of baseball. This year has been kind of quiet, not many offensive numbers, too many bullpen games, too many managers just making these calls where bring a bullpen guy for every single inning. I think the game needs this big time. I want to go back to the old school days where I got to see Kurt Schilling go against, name it Roger Clemens and go 6 strong and see the best go at it. Now, this is going to affect the pitchers a lot. I also know that a lot of people are like saying, well, a lot of pitchers are out with Tommy John. Yes, that's the main reason. But given the fact that now the pitchers have to pitch 6 innings, you're going to teach your kids since a young age, hey, you need to work on your strength, your arm strength, your conditioning, and making sure you don't throw gas every pitch. So you're going to have to play your mixed pitches up to make sure that you pitch for a whole 6 innings, like longevity, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be it's going to be not a sprint. It's going to be a race.
Yeah. I remember when you asked me, I was like, oh, hell yeah, that's dope. But then I started thinking about it and I'm like, okay, it's new baseball right now where baseball players are throwing harder than what they did back in the day when you had your Randy Johnsons. You said Kurt Schilling, Pedro Martinez, all these guys were throwing heat. Heat in that time was 94, 95. And if you reach 98, man, that was some crazy thing. Now you're seeing pitchers reach 103, 105. 102 consistently, 101 consistently. Like Paul Skeens is throwing 101 mile per hour fastballs as a starter. So those are the type of pitchers you start looking at and you're like, damn, if they put this rule for 6 innings, are they going to become starters? And we started talking about relievers. Are there going to be enough relievers to where they're going to become starters now? Because they've been doing it for a long time. Now you need to have more starters. So you're going to have maybe a 6-man rotation implemented into each team, right? So the way that injuries are happening, we don't know if it's velocity. We don't know if it's because of so many junk they're throwing, or they're gripping the ball different, or their angles in the ball in the hand are changing. That's what's happening with baseball, where we don't know where the Tommy John is coming from. One thing we do know is it could be because of the velocity and all the workouts they have been doing on that arm. So, do I like it? I kind of do. I do want to see the pitchers go a little bit more. I just don't want it to be a rule. I want it to be more like, okay, if we have 5 innings that you need to go ahead and get the win, I think we should go all the way to 6. That way it's not enforced. That way it feels like, okay, I'm trying to get a win, so I need to try to get to 6 innings. If I only pitch 5, it's not going to count. I'm not going to get the W. So I think that should be a little bit more, that because becomes an incentive now in your contract. If you win games, right, then you have to pitch over 6 innings. And I think it should be that way. Like forcing pitchers to throw 6 innings, I don't know, dude. Kind of feels,
You
I
think
don't
it's a
know.
lot?
It's just I kind of feel, I think it is a little bit too much, because a lot of players don't like to get enforced or forced to do something. Like they already got the time. Remember the time clock? How people were like, especially Manny Machado, he didn't like it, but now it's like, what's going on? We don't know the time is on or anything. We don't even recognize the time on there. But if we do this, where we kind of push it towards the players, I feel like there's going to be more injuries. And if you go change it from 5 innings to 6 innings to get that W, I think it'll be a little bit better, because now you're trying to reach that goal. Now you're trying to get there. So, I mean, I'm a little indifferent. I don't know if I should go that way or this way. Like I know when I first said it, I was like, oh, hell yeah, let's do it. But then I started thinking about, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, because it's new baseball, dude. It's new baseball. So
looking at it from a perspective of watching the game since the 90s, analytics has ruined the game a little bit. And let's be real. Let's take a look back in 2020 World Series with Kevin Cash, the manager of the Rays, taking out Blake Snell before facing the third time of the order because he was scared. The analytics was saying that he's going to do worse.
Yeah.
When this guy Blake Snell was stealing, pitching his lights out in the World Series, he got taken out of the game, and we all saw what happened there. The Rays ended up losing the game in the World Series.
Yep.
This is one of the prime examples of why the game has changed drastically. The analytics has been different. You have guys, it's a bullpen game now. Every inning you have a new guy throwing the lights out. And, this is where I miss us prime matchups of starting rotation like back in the days. We
Definitely.
had Roy Halladay against Cliff Lee, you name it. They had all these guys facing one another, and this was exciting baseball to watch. I feel like we don't see this very often in the game of baseball. We only really see it on the playoffs when your number one is going against your number one and hoping it goes into a deep sixth, seventh inning.
Yeah.
But I like the rules they added. I think Manfred does things that a lot of fans hate on, but then realize, hey, you know what? It's actually working for the game of baseball. And I think this is one of them. Now, if we're going to go to a baseball game and hey, this top prime pitchers are going to pitch, you're going to go to the game.
Yeah.
And you're going to see best quality of baseball for 6 innings. Now, if Scott Boras wants these pitchers to get paid, well, they got to pitch 6 innings. Just saying. You want the big bucks? You gotta do it. That's 6 innings. What's one more extra inning?
That's true.
You got to work on it. Strengthening that arm, conditioning. There's other sports where players have to go for even longer, and they don't get paid top dollar like baseball.
Damn, dude. Well, we'll see once that changes, and we'll see if we like the change, and once it gets implemented, and our favorite pitcher goes down Tommy John, which I hope not, but if it does, then we'll see what happens. But right now, I like your answer, Ernie. I mean, hopefully my answer was okay with you guys. Cool. But I don't think I'm ready to answer yes or no on that one. Just because, like I said, the game of baseball has changed a lot. So let's move on, man. We have the power rankings, and I'll go ahead and post them. You want to go first on this one?
Definitely. Well, we take a look at the power rankings this week. Looks like we have a lot of similarities. Up top, we have number 1 Orioles. I just think they definitely are performing at a better level than any other team right now. They have the most depth in the team. They lost today to the Mets on a walk-off, but I think they're playing great baseball. The Phillies have been underperforming this month, but hey, I think they're getting back together, right? It's late August. They're kind of not taking it easy. We have the Yankees at 3 and Dodgers at 4. I don't know, man. The Dodgers injuries are really concerning me, and that's why I have them at 4. They're also just playing better baseball right now, 7-3. It doesn't feel like it because the Padres and Diamondbacks are right behind them playing better ball. But I think Dodgers fit perfectly at 4. And then we got the Guardians and Brewers, which have been playing. The Brewers play really well against the Dodgers in Milwaukee this week. And I think Milwaukee deserves to be – I can see why they're the 5th for you. I was tempted to put them at 5th, but I feel like the Guardians have been playing much better baseball all season, all around. But these records are really close.
Mm-hmm.
Every team is within like a half game or 1 game behind one another. By tomorrow, this rankings could change just based on a series.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
So I feel like these teams are just taking turns 1 through 5. They play 1 week better, 1 series worse, and it's go like that. But that 7 through 10, it's been interesting all year round. It's been fluctuating left and right. We got the Astros team, which I have at 7. I think they're playing really great baseball right now, given that they don't even have Kyle Tucker. Their pitching is doing really well. They're 9-1 in their last 10, and I think that's where they should be. Now they got the Twins, who are a second team in the wild card. They're 16 games above 500, and they're 6-4 in their last 10. I think they're playing great baseball as well. Now the Padres and D-backs 9-10. I think we have a lot of similarities there, and it's 2 teams that are performing much better. The D-backs did get swept this weekend, which kind of shocked everyone. But the Padres, man, I'm really impressed how they're playing this game of baseball right now. They're 7-3 in the last 10. The D-backs are also 7-3. Had they not been swept, at least lost 1 or 2, then you're talking about a team that's 9-1 in 10 games. So this injuries for the D-backs is starting to concern me. Yeah, they got hot right when they needed to just to make the wild card, but now I don't know if they could win the division with these injuries. Now this Padre team, though, on the other hand, they have what it takes to win the division, and they could creep up at any moment to this Dodger team. And I think that's what the Dodgers know, and they're performing pretty good as well. They don't want to lose that division. They don't want to lose it to the Padres. Not at all.
Definitely. But I think the Padres are – I think this is the last time we're going to see them at 9. They're going to keep going up. I feel because they're doing everything right. They're playing small ball. They're moving runners over. They're doing whatever they need to do to win the game. So the reason why I have I'm going to start from 10 with the Diamondbacks. And the reason why I have them there is because they were too close with Kansas City for me. Kansas City has been playing good baseball as well. So I decided to have the D-backs because they are in the wild card run and they are playing good baseball in the second half. So that's why I have them 10. So it was kind of tough. Like I was going back and forth. Who do I put 10? So I was at first I said the Kansas City Royals, but I'm like, wait, no, not the Royals. The D-backs are playing good baseball. I know they didn't do good so good this weekend, but these injuries did happen. But I can't discredit how good they're playing baseball because of this series. And the series before, they were killing it. They were doing really good. So I move on to 9. The Padres. The Padres are playing like we've been saying all this show. I think we've been talking about Padres all the show. The Padres been doing everything good, and like I said, I don't think they're going to stay at 9. If they continue to play this type of baseball, they're going to probably move all the way to 1. If they go, if they keep playing baseball this way, the Astros are playing good baseball as well. I had them at 9 last week, and moving them up to 8, which are good, doing really good. And you just said the injuries are happening with them, and then you have the Twins, dude. The Twins, damn, dude, like every time I see the Twins, they're kind of playing good, and then they start playing a little bit, less good, and then not good, and then less good again, and then good. So I have them at 7. They're doing okay. I think the Twins potentially can take over the Guardians. There's Guardian fans out there. Hopefully you don't hate
Oh,
me, but I just feel like the Twins have it going right now. The Guardians are, what is it? They're 5-5 this week. That's why I dropped them. They didn't. The last 10 games they're 5-5. They're not playing up to where they were playing the weeks before, but I think it's just because they were traveling. So I think once they set back and get that little rest, they'll get back on it. The Brewers. I felt like the Brewers could have been on top of the Phillies, honestly, because Shirio's been sparking it up. They've been playing good. I know the last 10 they're 6-4, but they're playing good baseball. They're doing what they need to do. They're doing the little things. They're only one game behind the Dodgers for the second best record. The Phillies are just by percentage points on first place, and they're not playing good baseball. But I did put the Phillies up there because they're the number one team in the National League. So I have them at 4, which a lot of people are kind of probably disagree with saying they're at 4, but I have them there because they're not playing good baseball right now. And
hmm.
if I have a question for the Phillies, and we have John that he's a Philly fan, are they concerned at all? And I don't think they should be, but they haven't been playing good baseball, dude, all this month. I mean, all the second half. They're 9-16 in their last
Yeah,
28 games. They're not hitting all that great. They're at 255. I mean, that's why you have to look at stats. You have to look at how they're not playing super well. And I think Will mentioned last week that Bryce Harper's not hitting as well. And once he starts hitting, I guess the team will pick it up. I don't know if that's true. And if it is, I mean, once we see Bryce Harper hitting, they're going to start playing good baseball again. Then I have the Dodgers at 3. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Like I said, a lot of people are not giving them credit. Why?
yeah,
Because there's a lot of injuries. They're not getting them credit because they should be playing a lot better than other teams. I don't see it. I mean, I think they're doing good at 3. They're playing better than the Phillies. They have their record to show it. They're hitting. Their pitching is not all that great. I don't like the pitching, so I don't think the Dodgers are going to make a good push in the playoffs. Don't hate me for that. And then the Yankees, I had them at first last week. They lost yesterday in the 9th, or this is the 10th or 9th. I forget what inning it was,
yeah.
and
They
that's
lost to a
why.
walk off.
Yeah, that's why I had them at number 2. If they would have won, I would have had them at 1 again because they would have been on top of the Orioles. But the Orioles are just like I said earlier in the show, man. I think they're doing really good. They have their rookies, and I don't know. Do you think the Orioles can take it all the way to the World Series?
Yeah, man. I think it's gonna be between the Orioles and Astros and the ALCS. That's the way I have it. It's gonna be two teams with a lot of depth, and I'm really hoping this Oriole team. It's an exciting team to watch.
Yeah,
They get really timely base hitting. They have great pitching rotation. They have it all from top to bottom, and it's a team that is scary. I just hope their inexperience doesn't affect them. That's was a main factor last year. It feels like they
yeah,
got caught in the postseason. We
yeah.
had huge expectations for them last season and didn't turn out to play out the way everyone wanted. But that Philly team, going back to the Phillies, man, I think they just have a comfortable lead. I think Neto just mentioned that in the AOEs. I think it's a major factor why they're not performing so well. I think they're just kind of like cruising. They have the lineup and depth to compete with any team any given night. And you give me Schwarber, you give me Castellanos, you give me Trey Turner and Bryce Harper. I'm going with them too, man. So Orioles and Phillies looks like the top contenders from both sides, and I it would be good for the game of baseball. Those two teams facing one another.
The Orioles and Phillies?
Yeah,
Really? I want to see the Orioles. I want to see the Orioles.
I know nobody wants the Phillies. I know as a West Coast guy, we'd rather not. But
I'd rather see the Padres, dude. I'd rather see the Padres face the Orioles. Why? Because it's the West Coast, and remember the Padres beat the series against the Phillies. So and the Diamondbacks beat the series. I don't want to see the Diamondbacks again.
Right.
The Diamondbacks are a good team. I'm not saying they're not. It's just the ratings for baseball goes way down, and it sucks. It sucks. It has to be that way. It's just I think the Padres are due for a World Series. As a Dodger fan, like it's easy for me to say. It's not hard. And now if it was the Giants, of course, I'll be like, nah, I don't think so. but yeah, dude, I think the Padres, if they keep playing good baseball like this, and they face and they were to play the Orioles, I think it'll be a good World Series. And then of course the Phillies too, dude. Like the Phillies have a huge fan base. It'll stay in the East Coast, so I just don't want to see the Astros again.
I don't either. No,
I don't want to see the Astros again.
I think we're all over them. Like, yeah, it's time. It's time to flip the channel on them. But I think you're right. The Padres definitely have a team that could beat the Phillies. They did face them back in 2022 in the playoffs, and they're coming with a vengeance. And I don't think they want to. If you're that Phillies team, you do not want to face the Padres.
Yeah, or the D-backs. Or the D-backs. I don't think I don't know. We'll see. It's up for debate. It's all up for debate. You don't see the Yankees going to the World Series?
Man, you really wish the Yankees could finally make it, right? As a baseball fan, MLB fans, Yankees in the World Series is good for baseball. Now, they just always find a way to choke, man. Since 2009, guys. And even before that, you talk about the 2000s, they lost to my Angels a lot of times in that postseason. It's Definitely. One of those, man. Man, this Yankee team has what it takes to win, but Aaron Boone in the helm, I don't trust him like that, man. And I don't think Aaron Judge is going to have enough support come playoff time. You got Juan Soto, and then we lost Jazz Chisholm. You don't know for how long. There's a lot of question marks there. Clay Holmes in the bullpen has been not performing that well lately, and there's another question marks there. Carlos Rodon, Nestor Cortez. There's guys that have the talent potential, but you're not seeing it at their best level right now.
Definitely.
We got Neto here. He's saying the only hairline I care about is on my head. Freddie Freeman. Okay, that's interesting.
I want to ask you something right quick. Oh, go ahead.
No. Well, Neto, thank you for commenting on our chat, keeping it active out there for everyone listening. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We have a lot of great content coming up for the postseason as well for you guys, and hoping to get some special guests here for you guys as well. Keep us updated on that score, though. But what were you talking about, Ned?
Okay, so what I wanted to ask you is that since I asked you about the Yankees, I'll ask you about the Dodgers, because those are the two top teams that are spending money, and they did spend money this offseason, but they're two managers. You have, with the Dodgers, you have the situation that's going on right now, and then you have the Yankees, the same situation almost, but without the injuries. So are they in the hot seat? And are they, if they do not, let's say they do make the playoffs, but they do not go all the way to the World Series, are they going to be in trouble? Are they going to get fired next year? Give me your prediction on these two guys.
Man, I knew you were heading this way. You know what? At this point, okay, if both teams don't win the World Series, there's a higher chance that Aaron Boone does not return. He shouldn't have even been back to begin with. I think they just gave him another shot. They went for Juan Soto, and we're like, hey, we're going to provide you the talent this season. No excuses. Now you have a Dodger team. Dave Roberts has been under the helm for over 8 years already.
Yeah.
And I think,
eight, around there, 8 years.
You can't be upset at the guy. He has brought one World Series. He has been in 2 other ones that have been part of cheating scandals. So this is really his fault. You know what I mean? Like right now, with given the injuries, is that his fault too?
Nah, it's not his fault.
No, right?
It just happens.
It just happens. Look at the Braves; they're also dealing with injuries, and you're gonna blame it on Brian Snitker for that? No.
So that's another guy. Let's add him to the mix. To the mix.
Brian Snitker? No, they cannot. No. My only one would be Aaron Boone. I think he's in the hottest seat right now. He got provided the offense and the pitching, and they expect them to get that World Series. Now the Dodgers, on the other hand, given the injuries, I think management knows, hey man, there's not much he could do.
Yeah.
He's still providing a first place team given all the injuries.
Okay. So
And,
yeah,
and like
yeah,
you knew as a Dodger fan, even when you guys signed Ohtani, you said year one, we probably still won't win. It will be after year two,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And wait, if you're a sane Dodger fan, if you're a Dodger fan that understands the game of baseball, not just a Dodger fan, oh, we got a tiny World Series. No, yeah, you would want it to happen, but there's a lot of factors that goes into it, right? Because you have to think about team chemistry. A lot of people think that's not a real thing. It is a real thing. Team chemistry has a lot to do with it. Kevin Kiermaier just came out saying that they pumped some life into his. They pumped, what do you call it? They pumped life into his blood or something like that.
Okay. Brought some
Yeah,
excitement back, right? I know he's gonna
yeah.
retire at the end of the season.
So
He's
when
probably
I read
feeling
that,
pumped going into the playoffs.
exactly. So when I read that, I'm like, wow, like, was this guy depressed or what the hell, Because that's a bold statement. That's a huge statement to say when you go to a different team, and you're not trying to put down your old team by any ways, but you saying that's like huge. And I usually, like, when I read stuff like that, it's inspiring because yeah, like, you have players that never played in a top notch team, or a team that the fans really care about their players, or a team or a player that's never gone to, like, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the teams that like are big. So
Definitely.
maybe for him it was like, whoa, I get to play in this team. Am I going to retire next year? I don't know. Maybe I should play. Like, maybe I can continue to play. So, I mean, those type of things, when I read them, I'm like, damn. And it's not just for the Dodgers or Yankees. I mean it for any team. When they bring them up, look at Profar, dude. You mentioned Profar a lot. This shows these shows last piece past shows that he was a number one draft pick from the Texas Rangers, and he didn't perform up to what he needed to do. He's been jumping around with teams, and the one team that's been, he's been producing is with the Padres, and then they let him go. He comes back, and look what he's doing now. Maybe he found it already. He's a 30-year-old guy. He finally
Yeah.
found it. He finally is going to get that big contract. Who's going to give it to him? Maybe the Padres, maybe someone else, and maybe hopefully he performs, dude. So yeah, man, it just clicks with some teams, and it
Right.
just
Aaron
happens
Boone,
that way.
I feel like there's good team chemistry, but the guy looks stressed out every single week, bro. I'm not sure if you guys follow Talking Yanks. It's a Yankee channel that interviews him on a weekly basis, and his response, man, he looks like he's stressed the hell out, and I feel bad for the guy, man. He's having a tough time. Yeah, they're winning, but I know he's worried about October.
Yeah, definitely, dude. And there's a lot of coaches that can take his job out there. There's a
So
lot of people that's been coming out saying that I'll take the Yankees. I'll manage them. One guy that didn't make it all the way was the guy from the White Sox. Look how bad that was. Look how, like, much talent that team had, and they didn't do anything with it. He left. They won their first game, and it's crazy, dude. So with the Yankees, I just feel like Boone he meshes well with them. But yeah, you're right. I have been seeing Talking Yanks, and I feel like when he asks him something, it looks like he's irritated to answer. And
yes,
even when he's in the press conference, he's just like, man, uh, I really need to win. It looks like a guy that's like looking for his drugs, and like he really needs to hit something because he really
right.
needs to be like, right, and it sucks. You kind of see it. Like, I want to keep my job, but the team is kind of making that decision for me. So that sucks,
That,
dude. I
that,
cannot imagine what he's going through. Like,
that
I just don't want to imagine it either. So it looks like he's stressed out. I don't want to do it. I wouldn't want
Carlos,
to do it.
do you know
Yeah.
about the Dodger $5 Panda plate? Anybody out there listening here in the LA County, for every Dodgers victory, home victory, you get a $5 Panda plate through Panda Express app. Make sure to check it out. That's some good deals there. I know Neto mentioned earlier in the show, Jack in the Box also gives out a free meal. I'm not sure where he mentioned that, but yeah, man, there's a lot of giveaways if you're a Dodger fan.
Dude, you told me about that one. I didn't know that one. The
Yeah,
the
it's
the
a great
panda the
deal,
panda
man.
one.
It's in my menu at least once a week when the Dodgers are in town for sure.
All right, guys, we reached that 1 hour mark. I'll go ahead and give Ernie his last mentions before we go ahead and log off.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for checking out our show on a weekly basis. Don't forget to tune in to the Thursday Fantasy Baseball Show. I know fantasy playoffs are starting soon, so these guys, John and will help you guys out to make sure you win that fantasy baseball league. But from us here in Power Hour, we enjoy talking the latest, hottest baseball news. We always bring it to you here live and direct.
Definitely, definitely. And I kind of want to have a little bit of more I guess people on here. So if you guys can share the video and get people to get on here and start chatting away and start battling, start asking us questions about baseball. I mean that this is what this show's about. We love talking to our fans, we love talking to the subscribers. And if there's nothing on there, we just go by what we have and what the news has been. But it's funner when you guys are on there, and we appreciate Neto. You're always on here. We appreciate you always, touching the keyboard and just going away on it. We love it. Yeah. So we reached that hour from all of us here on Real Talk Baseball. This is Ernie Orange. I'm Carlos Baseball. Real Talk Baseball. Signing out.